Hello everyone, Monty here. Today I'm going to teach you how to make pumpkin soup. It's really pretty easy to make, it's really delicious, and very low calories. So in an earlier video I talked about I roasted squash and pumpkin both at the same time in the oven. So I just cut the pumpkin in half, I scooped out the seeds. No, I didn't roast the seeds, and people always tell me how wasteful I am. These are the kind of comments I get. I'm just venting today with about all the comments, because really, I'm trying to give you guys good food recipes, and I get these negative Nancys, like, oh, I can't believe how wasteful you are. You threw out all the pumpkin seeds. You should have roasted them. I'm already cooking for 4 hours today. Do I need to cook another hour to roast some goddamn pumpkin seeds when I don't want to eat them? Anyway, I digress. Back to the pumpkin soup. So I roasted the pumpkin, I took the seeds out, yes, and I threw them out. And if you want to roast them, be my guest. And then I scooped out all the pumpkin. I put it into a bowl. It's really easy. When it's cooked, it just comes right out. Scooped it all out, put it in a bowl. I weighed it. This is a little over 2¼ pounds worth of pumpkin. It was a very small pumpkin. And I really don't, with the recipes, you know, I looked online a long time ago, pumpkin recipes. I like to do my own thing. But some of the recipes, like 4 cups of pumpkin, 4 cups of chicken stock. What I like to do is I like a very thick soup, but with no cream. So I just put the pumpkin in, you'll see, with my garlic and my onion, and then I will, keep adding slowly the chicken stock. I like to use the organic chicken broth from either Whole Foods brand. I got 2 brands today, and the low sodium, because I like to put my own pink Himalayan sea salt in, and then I just get it to the consistency I want it. And I'm going to show you how I then put it through a blender. I let it cool off the stove. I put it in a blender, and then you could put it in the refrigerator. It's going to get all smooth and creamy to get the consistency you want between the pumpkin and the broth. And then you put it in the refrigerator, and until you're ready to serve it, and you can reheat it up. That's what I'm doing, because I'm prepping it for tonight. So anyway, what I first did was I took 4 cloves of garlic and I chopped them up, and half a medium onion, and I chopped it up. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to the stove and show you how I do it. I'm just going to saute these in a little olive oil spray. Then I'm going to put the pumpkin in. I'm going to put the chicken broth in slowly until I get the consistency that I want. And then I'll add some fresh thyme and little sea salt. And then I'll just taste it and decide whatever else it needs. But usually that's what I put in. Usually the garlic and the onion give it a nice flavor with the sea salt and the chicken stock, and then the thyme gives it that extra little kick. But you want to be careful with the thyme. You don't want to use too much. And so let's get started. I'm going to head over to the stovetop and show you how I do it. Okay, guys. So I just heated up in my soup pot a little bit. About 6 or 7 sprays of extra virgin olive oil spray. I'm now going to add that onion that I chopped up earlier. And I don't know if you can hear it sizzling a little bit. And the chopped up garlic. And then we're just going to saute this till it's cooked. I like it to get just not really brown, but just like when it's a little translucent. And it's just starting to get a little bit brown, so it'll take a couple of minutes. I'm not going to keep the camera on there. I did try something new. I put the camera on my countertop to give you like kind of a sky view of what the pot's going to look like. So I'm going to go ahead and saute this, and when it's finished being cooked, I'll turn the camera back on. Okay guys, well the garlic and onion's been sauteing for a couple of minutes. It looks like it's almost ready. It's just getting that kind of cooked look, a little translucent, the onion and the garlic, just about to start to brown. Nothing smells better than garlic and onion sauteing. I love the way it fills this house with that smell. It just smells so good. Okay, that looks pretty much cooked. So now I'm going to take my like 2¼ pounds of the pumpkin that I scooped out of my oven. Roasted pumpkin. I'm going to turn the heat down. The heat was, the flame I used was like between a medium and a high to saute the garlic and onion. And now I'm going to turn it down a little bit to like a medium. And then I'm going to add some chicken stock, organic chicken stock, low sodium. And we want to be careful with adding the chicken stock because you don't want to add too much because we don't have more pumpkin. And right now it's like a mashed potato consistency, so I know I gotta add a lot more. And I just kind of eye it. And then we can just mix it a little bit more. This pumpkin was small, so it'll be just enough for probably 3 large bowls of pumpkin or 4 large bowls, depending on how much you give them. And I just see that I still need some more. So, and we can also add more after we blend it. So we're gonna blend it in a blender, and then we're gonna put it back on the stove. But I can tell that I just need a little bit more. And then we're gonna start adding our seasoning, then we'll take it out and we'll put it in the blender. I don't wanna add too much more, but just a little bit more. Okay. Now we're gonna add some of the seasoning. So what I like to do first is add the sea salt. About 17 turns of the sea salt. You know, most soups have a lot of salt. If you're low sodium, you can use less, but it does give it good flavor. I'm going to taste this a little bit. And we need some more afterwards. Now, the other ingredient, very few ingredients in this, fresh organic thyme. What I do is I just take the little stalks and I kind of run backwards like this just to get the leaves off. We don't want the stems. I'll make sure we don't get any of the stems in. The tops are hard to get off, so I just kind of peel those off. But from the top to almost the bottom, you can just peel it back. You can just grab it and peel it back like that, and all the little leaves come off. It's real easy. I love the taste of fresh thyme. It's really just beautiful. I don't know why I always say thyme sometimes instead of saying thyme. It comes out weird sometimes. Okay. I'm also gonna go get a lemon. I'm gonna put a little squeeze of lemon in there as well. I just happen to have a half a lemon. And, it's starting to bubble, so it's got too much in there. Too high. I'm going to turn it down a little bit. Right now it's a little bit looser than mashed potatoes. I'm just going to put a little bit more in. Just want to taste it too to see how it tastes like. Really good. I'm going to put a little pepper in. Just a little bit more. Okay. Now what I do is I really don't worry about the taste as much until after I blend it smooth. So I think we're ready now. We've got all the seasoning in, and we're just going to take it out. I'm gonna turn this heat off. I'm gonna take it out. I'm gonna let it cool. I'm gonna put it into the blender, and I'll show you how I put it in the blender, and then I transfer it. I'll transfer all of this into here, and then I'll put it back into the pot. So before I put it in the blender, I always transfer it to a mixing bowl. So I clean this off so then I can put it back into here when it comes out of the blender. All right, so I'm gonna turn the camera off. I'll turn it back on in front of my blender. Okay guys, so I had a little issue with my video when I started videoing this. So what I did is I have my pot that was all cleaned out, my soup pot, because I transferred the mixture from the stove from my soup pot into a bowl. I put it into the blender and I blended it till it was smooth. And then I just pour it back into the pot. And it should be like pudding consistency. Like I'll definitely need to add a little bit more chicken stock. That's really good. Okay, so I'm gonna do it again and show you what I did. I just take my mixture and I put it in the blender Some people say you should only do a cup at a time, but that would take forever. I do like 2 or 3 cups at a time. And you have to blend it for a couple of minutes because you want to make sure that you get all that garlic out and the onion done really well. So I'm probably gonna, for the 2 pounds, I'm probably gonna fill this up 3 times. Not fill it up, but put it in 3 times. Because I don't want to put too much in because I want to make sure it really gets the garlic and the onion, so it's gonna be like a very creamy soup, no chunks. So I put it on high for probably a couple minutes. Now, a couple of ways you'll know it's ready in the blender. You'll see like chunks flying by, and you'll see it starts moving a little bit faster, and it really seems to be moving very smoothly through the blender, going by you. Then you know it's done. That's done. Yep, that looks really good. And we're just gonna pour it all into here. And it's very thick. It's like an applesauce consistency. And then we're gonna do our last batch. That is so good. Okay, I'm not gonna make you watch me do this again. But what I'm gonna do is then get it all into the pot, then I'll put it back on the stove, and I'll put some more chicken stock in, thin it out a little bit to the consistency that I want. I want it creamy, but I don't want it too watery. And then I may add a little bit more sea salt and some other things, depending on a little more pepper, depending on how it tastes. And then the soup's done. So we'll go back to the stove now and finish it up. Okay guys, so I just put it back on a medium flame again. I'm just gonna warm it up and thin it out a little bit, the soup. So it's like an applesauce consistency. We want it a little bit less, but not too thin. So I'm gonna put some more of the chicken stock in. And this is a low sodium or no sodium chicken stock, so we're actually gonna need some more salt. And then we're gonna taste it. And I think the salt, pepper, garlic, all the seasoning is to taste. And don't go too crazy on the thyme because it'll be too much thyme. And anyway, so it still needs a little bit more chicken stock. It's still pretty thick. I mean, we want it to be a soup. Now, when you warm it up too, when it sits, you know, in the refrigerator and you warm it up, you may need to add a little bit more chicken stock as well. But I'm just keep adding a little bit at a time so I know how much to add. And this probably will be just enough for 4 cups. There won't be any leftovers of the soup probably. So 4 bowls of soup, I'm sorry. I'm just gonna add a little bit more. I like to do it really slowly because we won't have any more pumpkin to add. And then just keep adding a little bit more. And I know it's gonna need salt and I know it's gonna need pepper because I tasted it right before I put it back on here. So I'm gonna do a little bit, don't wanna go crazy again. Okay, that looks like it's getting to a really good consistency. It's like, looks like a thick, creamy soup but without the cream. What I love about the soup is it's non-dairy and it only has 7 ingredients. So we had the pumpkin, we had the garlic, the onion, the thyme, the lemon squeeze, the chicken stock, and black pepper. So it's 7 ingredients, that's it. Really healthy, a little squirt of olive oil spray to saute the onion and the garlic too. So that's starting to look good. I'm gonna put a little bit more pepper in. And then a little bit more sea salt. I'm gonna find my sea salt. And then we're just gonna heat it up, and then I can put a lid on this, put it in the refrigerator, and then warm it up right before my mom and Marva come. So let me get a little spoon to taste this. Oh my God, this soup is incredible. Wow. Another winner. Again, non-dairy, only 7 ingredients, so healthy for you. The onion and the garlic is it's like antioxidants, full of antioxidants. So is the thyme. Pumpkin loaded with nutrients. And even the pink Himalayan sea salt's not like white salt that's bad for you. Everything in here was organic, including the pumpkin, and including the thyme. Everything was organic. So hope you enjoyed my video on learning how to make pumpkin soup. It's great for the holidays. Really doesn't take that much time. I know it looked like a lot, but it really doesn't. And it definitely will impress your guests that you made this homemade pumpkin soup. Hope you guys enjoyed the video.